I'm going to make a quick instructional video on tables. You can insert a table by going to the Insert tab here and going down to Tables. It gives you a little menu. You can choose your columns and rows, how many, or you can go right up here to the Table menu, which is a little better because it's got more options. You can see the Insert Table menu looks exactly the same, so I'm just going to choose 2 columns and 3 rows. It adds it in. I can grab the side and shrink it so it's the size I want. I can grab the lines and pull them side to side. And here's my table. If I click in a cell, I can type. I can add data. I can click on this little drop-down button and it will allow me to put lines around the sides or take lines away. I can also go back up to my table and insert more rows and more columns. Now here's the difference between rows and columns. Columns go up in the air, just like the columns that are those big pillars that hold up the ceiling of old Greek buildings you may have seen in social studies books. Rows are, think of planting rows of corn. You don't plant corn in the air, it doesn't go up, it goes out. And so you're planting rows side to side. These are rows up and down. Those are columns. And so you can insert a row. And I'm going to insert it above. You can see 1 row. Now here's the tricky thing that you should know. If I highlight all of this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cells high. If I go back up to the table and I do insert row above, now I have 8 cells high. Because what it really does is it copies and pastes exactly what I've selected. Right now I only have 1. So if I go to the tables and insert a row above, it only adds 1 row. And so keep in mind, if you have multiple rows selected, that's how many rows it's going to insert. The next thing we can do is go back to the table. Again, you can insert columns. Columns go side to side. You can delete rows. So if I highlight all of these rows, go up to table and delete row, it's going to delete all of the rows that I had highlighted. If I go up to table again and I delete a column, it's going to delete the whole column that I was in. Okay? If I go to table and I distribute rows or distribute columns, what that does is it makes them equal width or equal height. So if I grab this and I drag it out like that, this one is bigger than the rest of them. I can highlight all of these, go up to table, distribute rows, and it makes them even now. Alright? And so that's what the distribute button does for tables. You can merge cells if you have more than 1 cell selected. Merging a cell in a table basically means you're putting them together and making 1 cell. This is 1 box now. So if I type my title here, I can put 2 columns of information underneath that. And unmerge would be, if I click on that, I go to table and I unmerge, it splits that cell apart. And so that is what you're doing in tables. That's all the formatting that you'll probably need to know.